Hey y'all, welcome back to the cookie jar. Today we are doing the last recipe for the bread. It is called the soda bread. It is this page and this page. They do bake it right away, so we're preheating to 375. This recipe is from Bridget Murphy. She makes it every year on St. Patrick's Day and many times in between. It's got you cutting butter and flour together and then mixing in some more ingredients, and you're separating your wet ingredients and then you're mixing them together and then you're kneading them. This is Bridget says to make sure this step doesn't scare you off. Anyone can knead bread. Just put some wax paper on your counter and sprinkle it with flour. And then you're kneading the dough for a couple of minutes, and then you're shaping it into a ball, cutting it in half, reshaping it into something resembling something round. Shape each half into something resembling something round. That's not scary at all. And then you're gonna put them into 9-inch pie plates, cut an X on top. This is Bridget says you might have to spray the knife first to keep it from sticking. That's a helpful hint. And then you're gonna bake them off and they should be good. It says this soda bread is especially good with John Brady's quick Irish chili or Irish roast beef. Now, so it seems pretty simple, it seems pretty straightforward. Let's get into the kitchen where I have everything laid out and get started. Here is everything we're going to need today. Okay, so the oven is preheating to 375. We have our 2 9-inch pans sprayed with cooking spray. And we have our half a stick of butter that we are going to mix with 1 cup of flour. And it just says to mix that with a fork, cutting it in. So normally when you get this part in a recipe, it says like what size you're looking for. Like pea-sized is I think most common for like pastry crust. It doesn't really say, it just says to cut it in with a fork. And that's it. So I'm not really sure what point it's done. I know it's nowhere near St. Patrick's Day. We are actually, the last week in September. So Ian's hitting Georgia, I think right now on its way to us in North Carolina. So I think this will be an interesting little thing to have around. Little hurricane soda bread, I guess. But that's why it's so dark in the kitchen today, is because it's all really stormy and dark outside right now. Okay. This is what we have right now. And that's add the following ingredients to the bowl. 3 more cups of flour, a teaspoon of salt, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/4 cup of white sugar, and half a teaspoon of cardamom or coriander. Now, I guess we're just going to kind of mix that in. It doesn't actually say to mix it in, it just says add the following ingredients. But I'm going to mix them, just because that feels like what you're supposed to do. And in a separate bowl, I'm just going to use this one, you're going to take the 1 3/4 cup of evaporated milk or buttermilk. I used 1 can of the evaporated milk. That was just about perfect. And then 2 beaten eggs. And 2 cups of the golden raisins, which are optional. Just kind of breaking up the raisins, kind of stuck together. Now it's saying to mix our eggs and raisins and milk into our flour. And it is getting stiffer by the minute, which is good because we're supposed to have to knead it and I don't want it to be too sticky and wet. So while it is hard to stir, it is better for kneading, I think. I hope. Stir thoroughly, turn out on a floured board. Knead the dough, punch it down, roll it around, and fold it over on itself like you're playing with clay, mashing it down for 2 to 3 minutes. If the dough becomes too sticky, sprinkle in more flour. When 2 to 3 minutes are up, shape it into a ball, cut it in 2. Okay. So I think my main problem with this recipe in my mind, not a problem, it's more my own confusion, is I think I'm getting the Irish soda bread and hot cross buns confused in my brain because they're both, you know, Irishy things they put out around St. Patrick's Day. I think I've been thinking of this as hot cross buns the whole time. So I think I've been thinking of this recipe as the wrong thing. Whoopsies. Oh well. I wonder how close they are related, hot cross buns and Irish soda bread. I don't know. I don't think I've ever actually made either of them. Okay, so 2 to 3 minutes. I don't want to do this. I hate doing this. And I just put flour everywhere. Oh, it's so sticky. All right, so roll it, punch it, mash it, fold it. Just sounds like a regular old game of Bop It, doesn't it? So my husband and I, we were scrolling through Netflix. We were eating lunch together the other day, and we found this junior baking show. And we were watching it, and they had to make these Java cakes, which I think I've heard of. I think I've even seen it, like all these. On one of the kids, they had done the top, and they'd done it like a tic-tac-toe board. But the judge, he didn't say tic-tac-toe. He said like crosses and knots. And I was like, that's what they call tic-tac-toe? That's so crazy. But then we don't call it X's and O's, so who are we to judge? But I thought that was so crazy. Actually, on a scale of, oh my gosh, it's all over my fingers, this isn't terrible. I will say that. This is not terrible. Knife sprayed with Pam or other nonstick cooking spray. We have a knife. We've sprayed it up with cooking spray. I feel like I found about round. Okay. Note to self, I don't know if the cooking spray really helped all that much because it's still sticky. We need to make these resemble something round. Now, how round we talking? Exactly. It's like, should I pat it down? Should I pat a cake? I guess we're going with that. Because honestly, I don't know. Should I make it the size of the 9-inch pan? Put the dough inside the pie plates, press it down, and use a sharp to cut an X. I don't actually know. Number 1. Number 2. Now it says use a sharp knife to cut an X on the tops, 1/2 inch deep. Pretty sure that's 1 inch, so it needs to be about that deep. But that's like the size of the thing. I don't think I did this right. Are these supposed to be domed? Is that how you can cut a 1/2 inch deep thing? Should I try to like push it up? It says round, it doesn't say domed. We're gonna do that. I hope I'm not wrong, but I have a feeling I've already done this wrong. So, taking our knife back. Go about right there. So here's what we have. I think I did them right. I really don't know. But they're gonna go in the oven for 40 minutes. And I hope that they come out resembling soda bread. Wish me luck. They are. They've been out of the oven for about an hour. And now it just says to basically take them out and cut them up. They look cute. So I just kind of cut it in half and then cut a section out of the half. That's what it looks like. This is the soda bread recipe. I don't know what to say about this. It's kind of unlike anything I've had before. It's dense, just a little bit cakey. I guess the predominant flavors in this would be the raisins and the cardamom. I think I might have over baked it a little bit because the crust is so hard. It's good. I like it. They say it goes really well with chili, but I don't see that personally. They don't seem like they'd go together to me, but they could. I don't know. So that was the last of the bread recipes, which means next week we are going to start with the cakes. And the first cake recipe listed is the Christmas date cake. So if you're interested in seeing that, join us next week. I hope you have a good week. Bye, guys.